Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Wooden Robot Brewing Company out of Charlotte, North Carolina. This beer is called Space Magic. This just came out last weekend. You can see there it says IPA, so I'm assuming it's West Coast style and not hazy, but I don't know. Although I guess when they do West Coast, it usually says West Coast, so I don't know. We'll see. I've not had this before, so I don't know if it's supposed to be, clean or hazy. It's 7.0 ABV. It says India Pale, 100% local barley and oat. Oh, well, if there's oats in it, it's probably hazy. Dry hopped with Mosaic and El Dorado. So, I'll crack it open and see what we got. These guys have been doing really good stuff on both ends of the IPA spectrum, in my opinion. So, I'm not concerned if it is hazy or well, it is now. You can see it. Whether it's hazy or traditional style, I'll buy it either way blindly because they've been doing some really good stuff. See, it pours a pretty cloudy, bright golden color with about a finger's worth of really nice fluffy white head that's not going anywhere. It looks like. Ooh, man, that is really highlighting the Mosaic. I will say El Dorado is one of those hops that I usually like it when it's mixed in with a bunch of things, but I don't really know that I've had a lot of like single hopped El Dorado beers to really know exactly what the hop smells like, but this definitely has a lot of Mosaic characteristics. There's some stinky pineapple, definitely some peach character to it too, and a little bit of that like BO sweat that Mosaic can have. That's good. It's very well balanced. It has a really nice bready undertone to it, but it's still very, very fresh, juicy. Like I said, stinky pineapple and like peach hop aroma. It is a little bit like green, or I won't say green, more like earthy piney. It's not that just like that green generic like weeds. I don't mean weed like marijuana, like actual weeds character. Has a really nice bitterness to it. It's definitely keeping the sweetness in check because this is probably, I mean, it's definitely under attenuated compared to New England or compared to a West Coast style. It's pretty proper for this. It doesn't have like quite the creamy or pillowy mouthfeel that like some of the best New England style IPAs have, but just the flavor and the hop profile itself is very, very good. Excuse me. I'm trying to remember what this cost because I bought I think it was $4.50 for a can, but that was at a bottle shop buying an individual can. So buying a 4-pack at the brewery, I'm assuming is probably like $16, not $18, which is what $4.50 equates to. I'm just thinking that in my head as far as going through if I would give this a buy or a drink. There's almost something like very slightly like estery or bubblegummy about it too. Like maybe it was fermented a little too hot. Or it has some sort of different yeast, which I wouldn't imagine. I don't know why they would intentionally do that. Which is something I'm picking up on the back end. It's pretty minimal, but it is noticeable. Going back and forth. I guess on my scale of buy, drink, dump, I'm just going to give this one a drink. That is in no way saying this is a bad beer, but it's just there's very, very fierce competition as far as this style of beer in Charlotte. There's several brewers that are making very, very good IPAs. Between Resident Culture and High Branch and Divine Barrel, these guys, Salute, and even Protagonist, if you're including West Coast. Well, I guess they've done hazy ones too. They just don't really package anything, so I usually don't include them because probably won't do a review on here until they expand and start canning. Because I just don't like. I don't like buying crowlers, especially of hoppy beer, because they can get oxidized so easily, and then I go and do a review, and it's just not what I was tasting at the brewery, and it's not fair to them. And I don't want to, but I'm also not going to give it a fake review. If it tastes bad, I'm going to say it tastes bad. So, I have to be honest to my listeners, but I also don't want to give a shitty review of a brewery just because it's not optimal packaging for that product. So that's why I don't usually. I don't usually do crowlers on here at all, but especially not of hoppy beers. Other beers, I don't worry as much about oxidation, especially if I'm drinking it within a day or two. But hoppy beers, it affects them more than anything. I'm sure a lot of you know that. Yeah, I'm just gonna give this a drink. It's pretty good, but there's nothing that like really stands out about it. And even I was mentioning all those other breweries. Even Fauna Flora is doing some really good IPAs lately too. So it is a good one, but it's not top tier. I don't think it's good enough for me to. I would gladly like drink this at a football game or a bar or whatever if they had it on tap, but I wouldn't. If I could just go and buy if there was IPAs available from every brewery in Charlotte, and this was the representation from Wooden Robot, I probably would be drinking something from High Branch or Resident Culture. It's just what it is. But that's only compared to this beer. Wooden Robot has done a couple IPAs that I thought were as good as anything that either one of those other two have done. So this one, just don't think it is quite as good as some of their other ones. But if you see it and you like Wooden Robot or you just like hazy IPAs at all, I wouldn't fault you for buying it because it's still good and it's worth a try. I think it's just to me, it's one of those beers where it's more of a preference in flavor rather than the quality of it because there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just not necessarily the hop profile and the body in an IPA that I like the most. Excuse me, but it's still a pretty well made beer. So I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.